Well, very good morning, friends. So, I hope you have gone through the portions that we did about the poem that we had been doing it yesterday. That was uh, How to Tell Wild Animals, written by Carolyn Wells. And we had discussed in length about the summary part of it and about the poet and maybe how you can differentiate. We had discussed about basically six wild animals, and in a very humorous way, the poet had tried to tell us how to distinguish them or how to differentiate them. So, getting back with the next session, How to Tell Wild Animals by Carolyn Wells. First and foremost, we would like to start with the message that this poem had given us. You see, the biggest message that this poem has given us is that we should always try to keep away from things which are extremely and too dangerous. So, also, if we are not aware about a particular thing, it's better to leave it alone. Otherwise, it might be dangerous, might turn out to be fatal. Similarly, in the same manner, the poet has tried to communicate about the wild animals. You see, yeah, it's always better to maintain a safe distance from them. Always try to keep away from them. And why basically she has given this message? Because you all must have been hearing a lot of stories and all that some people go to the zoo and they actually irritate the animals which are in the cage. You also must have seen some videos 3 4 backs where a man had fallen in the den of a tiger while trying to take a selfie, and ultimately the man was killed. So many cases have been happening where people have tried to take things for granted, these wild animals, and as a result, they have lost their lives. So the poet has told us very clearly it's always safe to maintain a distance from them, safer distance from them. And the other thing that she has tried to communicate is things which are too dangerous, keep away from them. You will be safe and nothing will happen to you. So this is one of the biggest message that the poet has tried to convey through this poem. It's a wonderful poem. So now we had done it. So we would like to go through the poem line by line. Okay, so you can just have a look at the poem and you can just go through it. It says, the first stanza. See, in this poem, there are basically 6 stanzas, and each stanza has described about a wild animal. Okay, and each stanza contains only 6 lines. So that means you can say this poem has got in total 36 lines. So we start with the first stanza, which discusses about the lion. It says, if you ever should go by chance to jungles in the east, and if there should to you advance, and if there should to you advance, meaning the wild beast, a large and tawny beast, if he roars at you as you are dying, you will know it is the Asian lion. Okay, now here, if you look at it, there's a word in the fourth line, large and tawny beast. Tawny basically means brownish yellow. And in the fifth line, if he roars, roars means a loud sound. And east means the eastern part of the world, you'll find this lions. Okay, so it says, if you ever should go by chance to jungles in the east, and if there should to you advance a large and tawny beast, if he roars at you as you are dying, you'll know it is the Asian lion. So, in a very humorous and in a funny way, the poet has described and told you that if by any chance that beast roars at you as you are dying, then you can be 100% sure that it is the Asian lion. So, it is better keep away from it. Now, the second stanza, again of 6 lines, talks about the Bengal tiger or the tiger. Or if sometime when roaming round, a noble wild beast greets you with black stripes on a yellow ground. Just notice if he eats you. I got. This simple rule may help you learn the Bengal tiger to discern. Discern means to distinguish. So just go through it again. It says, or if sometime when roaming around, a noble wild beast greets you with black stripes on a yellow ground, just notice if he eats you. This simple rule may help you to learn the Bengal tiger to discern or to distinguish. So when you're roaming around and a thorough gentleman greets you, and that thorough gentleman or the noble wild beast has got a black stripes on a yellow ground, it says further, just notice if he eats you up or not. Oh my God. Now if he eats you up, it's the end of the day. So it's trying to communicate, if that beast eats you up, then be sure that it is the Bengal tiger. So you see, in a very humorous way, at the end, the poet is trying to communicate or to tell you how you can distinguish this, the wildest of the wild animals, and who are extremely, and they are too dangerous. Now the third one talks about the leopard. If strolling forth, a beast you view, whose hide with spots is peppered, as soon as he has leapt on you, you will know it is the leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain, he will only leap and leap again. What a funny way. So before we start the explanation, the first line, the second word is strolling. Strolling means when you are wandering. So it says you have entered the jungle. As you move forward in the jungle of the east, you meet the lion. Then again it has talked about meeting the tiger in the jungle. And then it says further, if you wander down, you'll come across this wild beast. Strolling means wandering, whose hide with spots is peppered. You know, this black pepper, when you drop them, the kind of spots that it makes. Similarly, if the body or the skin has got this black spots. So if you see such kind of a wild beast, as soon as he has leapt on you, now if you spot the leopard, already the leopard has spotted you. Before you spot the leopard has spotted you. Now as he has spotted you, before you could understand anything, the leopard will leap on you. You have become the prey. It will do no good to roar with pain. Saying, now when the leopard has leapt on you, there is no point in shouting for help. It will do no good to roar with pain. The leopard will not, even if you shout for help, the leopard will not stop, number one. Number two, even if you are crying for mercy, this is a wild beast, it will not stop in its action, but he will only leap and leap again. He will only go on eating you up. So it says, again talks about, the poet says explains in a very beautiful manner that you see these beasts are very dangerous. And these are the characteristics. When you spot a leopard, when you see a leopard, you can just say, God bless me. Because the leopard now is not going to spare you and is going to finish you off. Similarly, she talked about this Bengal tiger and the lion. Now we move to the third stanza. In the third stanza, the poet basically has talked about a bear. If when you're walking round your yard, you meet a creature there. Now the bear can be found anywhere. Sometimes they venture out of the jungle into the civilized areas. Sometimes the forest that you have very near to, close to the civilization or close to where people are staying. Sometimes the bears, they venture out there in search of food. So it says, if when you're walking round your yard, you meet a creature there who hugs you very, very hard, be sure it's a bear. If you have any doubts, I guess He'll give you just one more caress. It says the bear can be found anywhere. Sometimes, as I said before, sometimes they venture out into the where the human beings are staying. The jungle is very close to it. Sometimes they just come, and you might come across a bear if you are staying very close to some jungles or dense forests and all. In the evenings and all, or in the early wee hours in the morning, you can come across a bear. Now it says if you come across a huge beast who just comes and hugs you, you are very 100% sure that it has to be a bear. That's number one. And number two, she says, now, just to, you can say, the icing on the cake, the bear, if you have any doubt that it's a bear, the end of the day, what the bear will do, while hugging, he'll hug you so tightly that you'll breathe your last. So again, you see, very dangerous animal, even if it's a bear. And the fifth talks about the crocodiles and the hyenas. So in the fifth stanza, the poet Carolyn basically has talked about two animals, wild animals. Now, if you look at it, till now, all the four animals that we dealt, they are literally very, very wild. They are not at all civilized, because they will not show any mercy on you, because they're wild. No mercy at all. So all the animals that has been discussed over here in this poem, actually, they're very, very wild, who will not have any mercy on you. Now, in the fifth stanza, we'll be dealing with two wild animals, the hyena and the crocodile. Though to distinguish beasts of prey, a novice might nonplus. Novice means a beginner. The crocodile you always may tell from the hyena thus. Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. Very funny characters. Very funny characters. It says, when these hyenas, they're sadists. When these hyenas catch hold of their prey and when they start devouring it, they keep smiling, they keep laughing, as if they have inhaled the laughing gas. Very funny. So if the hyenas are laughing and smiling, so keep away. Keep away. It's not that they are going to welcome you. It's not that they'll be very happy to have you with them. Be sure that the hyenas are devouring some prey. They're like that. The moment they start devouring their prey, they keep smiling and laughing. Very funny. Very means extreme kind of a thing. And similarly, the crocodiles. The moment the crocodile catch hold of you, they will start shedding tears. Now those tears are not that the crocodile is showing some mercy on me, or that the crocodile is feeling very bad or sad about me, but that is the characteristic behavior of the crocodile. The moment they start devouring, they start shedding tears. So that is why you see there's a wonderful phrase in English, don't shed crocodiles' tears. Right? So this is used when you know that some people actually, you are in a distress, and some people come and shed tears, but actually from the bottom of their heart they're so happy, jealous of you. They're so happy that they don't know, because you are in pain, you are in trouble, you are in distress. Well, they're actually very happy from inside, but just to project, just to show the outside world that they are also equally at pain at your loss or at your unhappiness, they also roll down some tears. Okay, so such kind of characters, we use the phrase, don't shed crocodiles' tears. So you see, in all the 5 stanzas that we did, in the 5 stanzas we took up 6 distinct, very, very wild beasts who show no mercy on their prey or on human beings or anyone. So it's better that we keep away from them. So number one, starting with a lion, he will roar and he will finish you off. Then comes the tiger. Before you know anything, he'll just jump, pounce and finish you off. Then comes the third one, that is a leopard. Before you can spot the leopard would have spotted you. And if you cry for any help, it will go on devouring you. And even if you cry out in pain or for help, it will have no effect on him. In fact, he'll just go on with his business or job. And then comes the bear. The bear, like, he hugs you, and he hugs you so tight that ultimately you lose your life. And then comes two very funny and like sadists, people who feel immensely happy when the others are sad. So they have, in the fifth stanza, the poet Carolyn has mentioned about the hyenas and the crocodiles. The hyenas smile and laugh when they eat, and the crocodiles too, they shed tears while they're devouring. And the last one is about the chameleons. Now, chameleon, if you look at it, they are like lizards, but they change colors. And they get camouflaged on the branch of a tree. They'll become absolutely that kind of a brownish kind of a color. Or if they're among the green bush and all, they'll become green in color. If the red flowers are there, they become pinkish red in color. So wherever they are, you won't be able to see them. They become absolutely camouflaged in the background. So in this last one, we'll be doing with the chameleon. The true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of things. He hasn't any ears at all and not a single wing. If there is nothing on the tree, it is the chameleon you see. Now this is such a dangerous thing that it gets so beautifully camouflaged that you won't be able to see them. The danger is lurking in front of you, but you are not in a position to see it. And that is the biggest problem. And then they will hurt you. So if you look at it, it has been done in such a written in such a beautiful manner about how you should distinguish the wild animals. And they are the wildest of the wild animals. If you look at the lion, the tiger. So now, you see, in a very humorous and a funny way, she has distinguished these animals, and she has asked you to keep away from them. Okay. Now, similarly, if you go into the scenario, this is what the poet actually is trying to inform you, that in a society also, human beings of such typical characters are also around. They'll just pounce on you without you noticing them. There are hyenas in the society who will just love finishing you off. There are crocodiles in the society who out in front of you, they will shed tears that they are also participating in your grief. But actually they are sadists. They are very, very happy that you are in pain. Then you have the bears in the society. They will hug you, but they will hug you so tightly that you'll be nowhere. So this is what Carolyn has tried to communicate, my dear friends. Now getting back to it, you see, the poetic devices. There are two kinds of poetic devices that has been used in this poem. Number one is elision, and number two is repetition. Correct. So again, if you refer back to the chapter, then I'll show you where you have this elisions and the sorry, I'll just make it. Sorry. Okay, so basically, if you look at it, now what is elision? What is elision? There are two poetic devices. One is elision and one is called the repetition. Repetition, you know, when one word is repeated over and over again, it is that kind of a thing. It's called a repetition. But what is a thing? An elision, a deliberate act of omission. A deliberate act of omission. When we are writing poetry, sometimes we don't write the full spelling. Okay, so that is a deliberate act, and it is written in that manner so that it gels with the rhyming scheme. Now, if you just have a look at, first stanza, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First stanza, the fifth line. If he roars at you as you are dying. Now, in dying, D-Y-I-N, G is missing. So it has been deliberately omitted just to gel with the rhyming scheme. Lion, dying. Correct. So the G has been omitted. So it's a deliberate act of omission. So these are called elisions. Now again, if you go back to the where is it? There's one more. Go to the third stanza, the fifth line. It starts with T-W-I-L, twill. But actually, it is read as it will. It will do no good to roar with pain. But it is not written, she has not written I. She has just written the apostrophe and then T-W-I-L, twill, which is read as it will. So these are all deliberate act of omissions to help in gelling with the rhyming schemes. So that is why they are called elisions. Now, if you look at it, the repetition, the same paragraph, the same stanza, I mean the third stanza, go to the last line where we are discussing about the leopard. He will only lep and lep again. So the word you see, lep and lep, has been used twice. That means it has been repeated. So this is called the repetition. So my dear friend, this is all about how to tell about wild animals. So we discussed about the number one, the poet, Carolyn. We discussed about a character that she basically wrote for nearly 40 years, and she wrote mysteries and poetries and basically for the children. And she always wrote it in a very humorous manner so that the people, one of the basic reasons why I told you the way she used the humor in her poems and all is like, like when we use this negative words, English never remains English. English, you have to be very careful for using extremely positive words. So that is why it has been liked by the children. These small children, if you use some very negative words and all, they might get scared. So she has used humor to write her lines, or whatever pieces she has written, the stories or the poems that she has written down. Then we discussed about the story, what it's basically all about. Then we discussed about the wild characters of this wild jungle, and in how the poet has distinguished them from the rest of the world, and how we can find out who they are, right? And then we talked about what the message this poem has tried to convey to us, and then we discussed about the poetic devices. Correct. So I think it's a wonderful poem. Go through it, and in the meanwhile, what I will do, I'll try to give you the question answers, and I'll give you the on page number 45 some questions are there, so I'll give you guidelines, so it will help you out. And then of course I'll give you the the summary of it, the theme or the message of it, something about the poet. Okay, so I'll give you all these things, I'll give you as a notes. And the next class when we meet, I think we are done with our first flight as far as the first term syllabus is concerned. So it's a good day for us. We have said goodbye to the first term syllabus now, and now we will, from the next class, we'll be moving to our next the other book, that is Footprints Without Feet. So now we have already I think done a couple of chapters or 3 chapters, something like that we have done it. So now we will move about with our Footprints Without Feet. And so once we finish up with the first term, then we'll have some revisions. And once we have done with the revisions and all, we have taken a grip on it, then only we will be surging ahead with the further in the syllabus. Now, the most important is, some of the students had been asking me about the syllabus for the unit test. See, tentatively I will tell you the exact syllabus I'll be giving it to you by the end of the week maybe, but tentatively you can start preparing for yourself the first 2 chapters of first flight and your Footprints Without Feet. 2 chapters of Footprints Without Feet and 2 chapters of your first flight. So these 2 chapters, that is in total there are 4 chapters. You start your preparation. In the meanwhile, some small grammar portions like rearranging of the sentences, okay, and then maybe omissions where you have a missing word in one sentence, or maybe editing, one word may be wrong, you have to correct it. Okay, so now for the unit test, let us see, maybe we will not have the section A, that is comprehension, which is will be time taking, but anyway by the end of the week we will be in a better position to decide the syllabus, the marks, the duration, and as well as, but as far as the literature is concerned, you start your preparation for these 2 chapters from first life, the first 2 chapters, and the first 2 chapters of your Footprints Without Feet. And then I will tell you, okay, how much marks they will each carry. So by Saturday you'll be getting a complete picture of the syllabus. So till then, enjoy yourself, have a good day, and now when we meet next, we'll be doing with our Footprints Without Feet, another wonderful full of wonderful stories and all, and we will love it. Okay, so have a great day, enjoy yourself, sayonara, dos vidaniya. Thank you very, very much.